Welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Neff.
I'm Derek Kaufman.
Derek, thank you for filling in for Charlie Cotton today. Always a pleasure.
Happy to be here. This is my favorite co-host.
Oh, whoa.
Usually across from me is someone like Jason or someone making dirty comments. I get Charlie Neff, very proper and composed. I'm excited.
I'll take it. I should have you on more often. Derek is one of our top attorneys here, but he is taken. I'm sorry to break it to you.
I like when you say one of the top attorneys. I'm one of two attorneys. So I don't know that there's a real top or bottom. It's just two dudes.
He's the second best attorney. We'll just say that. We have a lot of topics to get into today. Travis Scott was arrested in Paris after a fight with his bodyguard, and we'll get all into that. Noah Lyles, everyone loves this guy. He ran the 200-meter dash with COVID at the Olympics, and he crushed it. There was also a third suspect arrested in the almost terrorist attack that was supposed to happen at Taylor Swift's concert in this terror plot. Luckily, they nabbed somebody else. And lastly, Shawn Mendes has a new song, and he said there was a pregnancy scare.
What a development.
Woo!
Exciting.
All right, starting off with Travis Scott. So we have some insane footage of him being pulled out of a hotel in Paris, handcuffed, put into a police car. He found himself in some legal trouble once again. So here's what we're hearing. We're hearing that inside of the hotel, he apparently got into some kind of argument/scuffle with his bodyguard, and somebody, possibly a security for the hotel, some other kind of security guard, interfered, tried to break up this fight, and he ended up, getting some kind of assault.
Yeah, apparently vases were broken. This was a big fracas, and Travis Scott is not a stranger to controversy. I mean, this seems to follow him around. I'd love to get a video of Travis Scott just like walking a puppy or licking an ice cream cone. It's always being dragged out, or he was in the confrontation in Miami over the yacht.
And those charges just got dropped yesterday, and now he's already in something new.
This was amazing. So he has this great piece of news yesterday. He drops one charge of disorderly intoxication. Now he has a trespassing charge. That'll be lighter. And now he's in Paris, and he's getting pulled out, put into an ambulance. So we were worried that he was hurt, right?
Yeah.
But ended up going to an ambulance or a hospital facility outside of a jail. Is that right? And, apparently no charges yet, but this kind of fracas just follows him around. I can understand his frustration. Paris is loaded with celebrities. It's loaded with people for the Olympics, and he's trying to navigate his way through, and it's probably finding it hard. So he depends on his bodyguards to clear the way, or depends on Paris officials to help him navigate.
There are a bunch of videos, too, where it looks chaotic. He looks stressed. Obviously, every celebrity in the world is there right now for the Olympics, and he has been. I think he was at the basketball game. He's been at a lot of the Paris Olympics events.
I know, but here's why I don't like that excuse, Charlie. How does this hit you? There's so many celebrities there. No one else is getting into these huge fights. Everyone is having a hard time navigating. Tom Cruise is there, and he's at events. There's no bigger star than Tom Cruise. Why is Travis Scott sort of getting into these scuffles? He's such a talented guy. He's always so hot-headed, though. So he gets in this kind of trouble that I think is avoidable.
And so we were told by just sources with direct knowledge that he's just been really annoyed and upset because he's been chased and harassed by the paparazzi. So it seems like that's maybe why he got into this altercation with his bodyguard, maybe to tell him, you're not doing your job, or you need to do this better, or why'd you let this guy come up on me? Whatever the case. You're right, Derek. It doesn't.
You know what, my man? Don't go to the Olympics. The Olympics is the hottest event in the world. It's once every 4 years. If you're going to go, there's going to be a lot of people. It could be annoying. And if you're annoyed by that, watch it on NBC like the rest of us.
Totally.
That's sort of my feeling.
Right. All right, moving on to Noah Lyles. Do you like this guy? I love this guy.
I love Noah Lyles. I think he's so good for sprinting. I just watched his Netflix special called Sprint.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Incredible. It sort of chronicles his whole journey through sprinting. He's very outspoken. He's very loud, and he's boisterous. He's said some controversial things. He's so talented. He's so much fun to watch. So this story was incredible to me.
Yeah, so he had a 200-meter competition. He got COVID. And
he won the 100 already. So this is the fastest man on Earth. So Usain Bolt is now retired and old. He is the current fastest human on Earth, which is the best title you can get, right?
1,000%.
You're just the fastest human. So he wins that race. The 200 meters is actually his better race. This is the one that he has said, because I watched this documentary.
I know. Love it.
This is his wife. The 100, he says, is his mistress. He wins the 100. His wife, he's like, I'm going to crush this one. No one can beat me. Comes down with COVID. Has to do this race anyway. It is such a short race.
Well, he doesn't have to, but he did. He did. He showed up with a mask. felt like he was going to push through. And he said he woke up that morning feeling like not good.
I've had COVID. Have you had COVID?
Yeah, I've had it once.
It's
It was
miserable.
horrible.
Yes.
I can't even imagine. And he said he woke up, felt horrible. And imagine like his 100% is probably amazing, but then his like, let's say 60% or 70%, he's still like top best in the world,
He's
right?
the third fastest. He wins the bronze medal running with COVID, and COVID is respiratory in large part. So you got to be able to breathe when you're running 200 meters. And I've had this. You've had it. A lot of people have had COVID. It makes you achy. You've got fever. It sounds like he's in the throes of it. He's taking some Paxlovid. I've read these reports. So he's trying to get the symptoms under control. But the idea of running a race in the first place in the finals, let alone coming away with the bronze, which I'm sure disappoints him. He was the odds-on favorite for the gold. He would probably have won the gold if he were healthy, but incredible performance.
It seems like it took a lot out of him because right after the race, he fell to the ground after crossing the finish line, and he required wheelchair assistance after as well, which, I mean, like you said, when you have COVID, you just want to lay there and like your body hurts, like even like down to your fingers.
You want to just cocoon in bed. You don't want to be.
So I can't imagine being like, whoo, whoo. Ooh.
Incredible. And coming in third, no less. So really
I just hope he's not like hard on himself right now.
I'm sure he is. All the best athletes are, but this is up there now with like the Michael Jordan flu game, very famously, when he performed really well in a playoff game while he had the flu, and everyone's like, oh, Michael Jordan's the greatest ever. This is going to make Noah Lyles' legacy just explode, I think, that he can win a bronze medal with COVID. It's incredible.
Another part of the Olympics, Kim Jong-un, look-alike, crashed the Olympics. I have to say, he's a pretty good look-alike. You know how there's like, oh, the fat Tom Cruise or like the Indian Brad Pitt or like whatever. Like this guy actually looks like it could be him. And it does seem like some people kind of were fooled about it. He made this like dramatic entrance to cheer on North Korea's Peng Chol-mi as she battled China's Cheng Yun in the women's boxing semifinals.
Probably a lookalike, though, because they're a country where he's sort of hermited in. He's probably not going to the Olympics. That's the sad thing about being in North Korea is like all the world leaders are here. They want to see their athletes perform, and he's got to watch it on NBC.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm good.
No good.
All right, moving on to Taylor Swift. Some more developments in the in the terror plot. So as you guys know, two people were already arrested, a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, in connection with this terrorist attack that they were trying to concoct for Taylor Swift's concert. Well, now a third suspect has been arrested, an 18-year-old Iraqi citizen. He was arrested Thursday night in connection with the plot. And the man planned to detonate explosives at one of the three now canceled Taylor Swift shows in Vienna, Austria.
This is absolutely terrifying.
It's so
These
terrifying.
shows we're going to have, I think, on average, more than 20,000 people per show. It was supposed to be 3 shows. The amount of harm they could have inflicted, the death toll would have been staggering. And they would be little. These would be a lot of kids. Taylor Swift is someone, my daughter, who's 8 years old, wants to go to Taylor Swift concerts. It's extremely scary for all of us to read this, for parents to read this. And, you know, this plot was foiled. What a tremendous job by law enforcement.
Absolutely.
I have to say that we're reading about the arrests and unfolding. You know, we're getting flashbacks as Americans to 9/11. It's all you can think about. And those plots that are so coordinated with so many people who are radicalized and can do the ultimate harm, because as one person is perpetrating their end of the plot, someone else and law enforcement runs there, someone else is driving a car through the crowd, someone else is detonating a bomb. It's chaos. It's incredibly scary. This is the age we live in. I think Taylor Swift concerts are going to be hotbeds for this kind of activity because she's so popular. It's like Michael Jackson on steroids kind of level of popularity. And there will be a lot of people at her concerts, and that's always going to be a target, unfortunately.
And it's crazy that the 17-year-old, they said, actually got a job at the arena just days before. And, you know, the other one, the 19-year-old, he had apparently quit his job, changed his look. There's a alleged photo of him floating around like international media. But just totally scary. And, you know, ISIS, I think for a lot of people, they wonder like, wow, these are so young, you know, a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, and then they had detained a 15-year-old, and people think, why are they so young? But, you know, ISIS, they target youth, and
because they're very impressionable. You can radicalize them quite easily online.
So my 2 half-brothers, they're half Muslim, they're half Lebanese. And my brother Jeffrey, on his passport, it says Hassan Jeffrey Amar. He went to go visit my former stepdad in Lebanon, and when he arrived there, he only had a backpack. He didn't have a suitcase with him. I don't know. He said he was traveling light. I don't know, whatever. He actually got detained at the airport in Lebanon because they thought he was part of ISIS because he was young, he was a teenager, and he only came with a backpack. And they target, young youth like this. And my stepdad had to come and be like, hey, he's not part of ISIS, I promise you. And it was like a whole situation.
No, this is a great point. I mean, plots like this that are foiled will only increase Islamophobia and sort of the paranoia about certain individuals and profiling. So there's a really sad element to all of this being, obviously, it's great that this was foiled and there was no harm done, but this has consequences. There'll be policy changes, things at airports will change, the level of surveillance will change. The Patriot Act was a huge thing after 9/11. Remember, the surveillance state. And the London mayor, I wanted to get this in, was Sadiq Khan said, listen, Taylor fans, we're going to carry on. This is a very London thing to say.
Yeah, because she still has London shows next week that are not canceled. So the Vienna shows were, there was 3 of them.
Yes.
But she still does have to go on to the London shows. And I mean, how
scary. It's incredibly scary, but it's the right response. You have to carry on with life. You can't just suspend all activity, but it is incredibly scary. This is such a London sort of statement, and I do think they'll bravely soldier on. She will have concerts, but there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, in terms of getting into the concerts, getting jobs at these facilities. It'll be interesting to see. Very scary stuff.
Very scary. Moving on to Shawn Mendes. He's got a new song called Why, and he almost maybe added dad to his resume. Here's a little clip of the song so you can hear what he had to say.
I thought I was about to be a father. Shook me to the core, I'm still a kid.
Wow. So obviously we don't know if this is personal, but him to say, I thought I was about to be a father, shook me to the core, I'm still a kid.
And the woman's unidentified, but everyone is thinking of Camila Cabello.
Yeah. Obviously, they've been on and off for years. And actually, just recently, they were spotted together at the Copa America soccer game in Miami. That was mid-July. So maybe they're still on and off. I mean, I don't know what's going on with their situation, but wow, if he was a dad, that'd be insane.
It is absolutely insane. He seems like a very sweet, sensitive guy. Yeah, of all the celebrities we cover, he's very in touch with his emotions. He does seem nice. I was sort of rooting for them when they were together because of all the couples. They don't seem they like the attention, but they do seem nice and, they seem normal in some way. So this is a wild sort of revelation to hear in a song. We don't know for sure if it's Camila. It's probably Camila Cabello, right?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but also we don't know when this maybe happened. Right. If this was early on in their relationship, his relationship. I mean, he was also with Hailey Bieber.
Oh, now you've blown my mind.
Yep.
Yes.
Remember they were at the Met Gala together. I know they were styled by the same designer, but
what a sliding doors moment. If he had a baby with Hailey Bieber, we'd have no Justin and Hailey. It would be a wildly different world we live in.
Right. Or maybe she would be with Justin, but would be pregnant with Justin's baby, but also have a baby by Shawn Mendes.
Amazing. Blended family.
Insane. All right, today in history.
My favorite segment. Hit me with what went on today, which is August 9th.
Yes. Well, first of all, today is National Book Lovers Day.
I mean, you're talking to a nerd. I love that.
Are you reading a book right now?
I am reading mostly New Yorker magazines right now. We just took a trip.
Boring.
I know. But having the focus for an entire book is harder with kids these days. What about you?
True. The last book I read was Crystal Harris's book from The Girls Next Door about Hugh Hefner.
Book clubs. Yeah.
Oh, is she reading stuff like that?
Mary's in 2 book clubs.
Oh.
Listen, she's a voracious reader.
Book hottie. This day in 1173. We're going way back.
Wayback Machine.
The construction began of the famous bell tower in Pisa, Italy, now known as the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Pre-lean when it was straight up.
They're just starting to put the little blocks down.
That's right. I was just in New York and I showed my kids old pictures of the Statue of Liberty when it was, the original
copper.
Color. It was copper and it was reddish and their mind was blown. That green thing was copper, so this is sort of interesting.
Was it Galileo that went to the top and did threw something down to prove some science
thing? That was the famous Galileo experiment.
I mean, I'm not doing it justice, but apparently too, there's a museum in Pisa where you can go and see Galileo's finger.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
I've never been to Pisa.
I didn't know that either, but I went with Johnny. He had been for the second time with me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw a finger here last time." I'm like, "I would have loved to see a finger. What the heck?"
You went to Pisa. Did you do the photo?
Yeah, of
Did you hold
course,
that
of
pizza?
course.
Okay, good.
Just like this. Like, ah. Okay. Moving on. This day in 1969, Sharon Tate and 4 others were murdered by followers of Charles
Way to
Manson.
bring things down. I mean, this
I
is a
know.
big moment
Sorry,
in
big.
LA history.
Yes,
But
pop culture history.
wow,
Do you
that
did you watch the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
of course, which was so
God,
incredible. The
so
sort of
good.
counterfactual, if it had gone differently, such a
Right.
fascinating movie. But this to Harvey, and no one
Oh my
brings up
gosh.
the Manson murders more than Harvey Levin. He was
Absolutely.
alive during them. This was in this 1969. He was a 19-year-old kid, so he remembers this a lot.
Yeah, and actually some of the people that were involved in the murders, like the followers, I think one of them got released like what, a year ago or so. So that's been like very controversial. And Sharon Tate's family has been very outspoken about how they don't want that to be the case. They don't want these people out there.
What a crazy situation.
Okay. Moving on to this day in 1988, Canadian hockey player, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, was traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the LA Kings, which shocked his home country. Apparently, this was like what you don't do.
He's the greatest hockey player
Of all
ever to put
time.
on skates. It's not even close. He's even bigger than Michael Jordan is to basketball. And when he left Canada to go play for our beloved LA Kings for the
Woo!
end of his career, what an incredible moment. He's so good that anywhere he plays, he gets statues. There's a statue outside of crypto.com right
Right,
now
right.
of Wayne Gretzky, even though this was not the moment of his career that was like the best moment. When you're Wayne Gretzky, you get a statue everywhere.
Totally. But also, like, I get why Canada's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but like the weather in LA,
mean,
like
no
now
doubt.
he's like getting in swim trunks or was at the time, sunglasses.
Doesn't he live down here now with like Paulina?
I think so.
Yeah, you don't leave
Paulina
LA.
is definitely an LA girl for sure. And some birthdays today. A lot of birthdays, actually. Gillian Anderson,
Oh,
X-Files.
Love it. Yeah, Mulder and Scully.
So
Come on.
weird. We did Mulder's birthday, I think, yesterday.
Wait, we did Duchovny yesterday?
Yes.
And now we did Gillian Anderson?
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
that's
realize they
great.
were one day
I
apart.
like that.
Both Leos. Deion Sanders' birthday today. Whitney Houston,
Oh,
R.I.P. Betty Boop. It's
Betty-
her birthday. She was created today.
I'm not sure Betty Boop has a birthday, but I'll allow it.
Kinda. Barbie has a birthday too. Today is also Michael Kors' birthday, the designer, Anna Kendrick, and Sam Elliott.
You know Sam Elliott, right?
Of
From The Big
course.
Lebowski. Come on.
Oh, I know him from that fight movie.
Which one?
They remade it Roadhouse.
Oh, Roadhouse. He is.
Yeah,
good
he was
Roadhouse.
great. He was a hottie back then, but he's always kind of been the same age
And he looks
throughout
so
life.
great with a mustache.
Yes, he does. He's the exception. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. And Derek, thank you for sitting in and filling in today.
So much fun, Charlie.
All right. See you on Monday.